What's up, guys? Hunter Dole here with another trade video today. Today we're looking at Reds pitcher Tyler Mahle, 27-year-old right-handed pitcher. And I'm not going to lie, when I first came across him, I wasn't super high on him. And I'm not saying I am now, but I do see kind of the reasoning for it. And I'm not here to convince you guys why we should go after him. I'm just saying why it might not be the worst option. If we do whiff on some of the star pitchers, which I don't think we'll be in on many of the star pitchers, someone like Mahle might make sense. First off, let's start with it. Like I said, he's 27, arbitration next year, and then he is a free agent in 2024. He's making $5.2 million right now. In terms of contract, very similar to Brad Keller. Brad Keller is 26, arbitration in 2023, and then he's a free agent in 2024, and he's making $4.8 million, so a marginal difference there. Just looking at him by the numbers, kind of similar production. I don't want to say the same, but he started 18 games, 98 and a third innings pitched, 4-7 on the year, with a 4.48 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 107 strikeouts, 3.79 FIP, 232 batting average against, and a 2.1 WAR. So obviously the FIP is something we need to talk about because it's a big difference from his ERA. But first, I want to talk about his pitch arsenal. 94 mile an hour fastball, 86 mile an hour splitter, 84 mile an hour slider, and 86 mile an hour cutter. So he really loves to challenge hitters with his fastball, which obviously is a risky strategy. It's one that has worked out well for him over the past few seasons, but he does tend to miss over the heart of the plate rather than off the plate with it, which worries me. It's going to lead to a lot of long fly balls, a lot of long line drives. When he does command it well, it can be straight paint, which is kind of the key. You know, there's definitely been some really good days where he's commanded it better than most. Some days where he's commanded it well enough, which I think is kind of what we'll come down to at the bottom line. And 73 of his 107 strikeouts have come off of that as the strikeout pitch. Now, going to his splitter, works great off of the fastball, nice arm side fade. Generally results in contact for outs. He's not going to get a ton of strikeouts with it. He does have an 83 mile an hour exit velo on it, very low. Can get sent to the gaps if elevated a bit too much, though, which I found is kind of a struggle for him, is, you know, obviously kind of being similar to a changeup. If it hangs a little bit too much, it catches too much of the zone. 434 slugging against, something he's got to clean up. Slider usage has been down this year after being his go-to pitch behind the fastball almost every year prior, and it's been hit pretty well, so I'm glad the usage has been down. It's just hanging a bit too much. It's not a very good slider, to be honest. 298 batting average against. It is generating a 33.4 whiff rate, so it's been nice to mix in here and there, and if he can get it going a little bit more, it can probably be an effective pitch for him, but it just hasn't been this year. And then as for the cutter, it doesn't fool a lot of hitters. It doesn't cut very much. Not as much as you'd like it to, at least. I'm sure if I was up there swinging, it would cut a lot, but not as much as other pitchers. It's a nice fourth pitch with some slight movement to mix in, though. I mean, he'll get some outs on it occasionally. Now, going to kind of the numbers, has always had struggles with walks, 3.57 per 9 this year. He throws 17.82 pitches per inning. He's just not able to put away guys quick. I'm surprised how many innings he generally goes, but point being, he really limits himself because of how many pitches he has to waste, and has averaged under 3 walks per inning just once in his career, which was a few years ago. I believe that was 2019, and has never averaged below 17 pitches per inning. Something to keep an eye on. He really works the count a little bit too much. And I will say this, guys, as far as I was kind of hinting at this earlier, he had a rough start to the season, and he had a difficult 4-inning, 8-run outing versus Chicago in May. Since that start, though, he's really been picking things up. He's heating up at the right time. In his last 8 starts, he's thrown 51 and a third. He is 2-2 with a 2.81 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 210 batting average against, 3.73 FIP, and 57 strikeouts. So you can see that FIP is kind of around the same range. It was expected that he was going to start to turn things around a little bit. I'm not sure if we can expect this from him consistently. He did have a really solid season last year, the best of his career. I believe he had a 3.75 ERA. So if we can get something similar to that, I'm totally okay with it. He did have a complete game shutout versus the Diamondbacks with 12 Ks during that span. Yes, the Diamondbacks, but still, look, he took advantage and had one of his best starts of his career. And he also had 6 quality starts in that span. So 6 of his last 8 starts have been quality starts. Again, he's hitting his stride at the right time. I'm probably going to say no just based on how iffy his command can be. I think talking about it a little bit more kind of convinced me more into it, but I'm still going to stick to my guns and say probably not, just because the number of walks and extra base hits he allows, 35 extra base hits this year. It's not a good combo. And again, for a guy who kind of relies on his fastball command and you're not sure what that's going to look like from game to game, that worries me down the stretch in the race to the postseason. I think there's better options on the market that are rentals that would make more sense. On the positive side of it, you have him in 2023 too. That's a plus if he goes into his best years while hitting his stride. On the other side, if he doesn't build off of that recent momentum and kind of reverse back to what he was doing earlier this year, you're stuck with him in 2023. So not my preference, but I won't be mad if he's cheap. I think he's much better than the numbers show this year. I think he had some really, really rough starts early in the year, but I think he's gotten a lot better as the year has gone on, and that encourages me. So I'm not fully against it. I think he'd kind of be similar to a Zach Eflin, which is kind of, you're kind of trying to replace that or get better. Again, I think we could get better. I know the starting pitching market isn't as amazing this year, but I do think there's some guys out there we might be able to land that would probably still be like fairly reasonable price, and could pitch a little bit better than Mahle, but we'll see. I'm not opposed to it. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I know I've seen this in a lot of Philly circles, opinions on both sides, so I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Thank y'all for watching. God bless. Go Phils, ring the bell, and we will see y'all later. Peace.